Hey everyone, Poohhead189 here, and today we're going to have a small, quick video about the Rings of Power. Now I know the show is extremely divisive in the fantasy community. A lot of Tolkien fans are not excited for it, and honestly, while I'm not critical of the show yet, except for some of the obvious changes to the canon they're going with, I will say Amazon has said that this is Amazon's ride or die. If the Rings of Power falls, they will reconsider all of their plans going forward for how they handle shows, which honestly I would love. However, that announcement also sucks because I'm also somewhat interested in the Rings of Power, at least partially, so I'm at a loss on what to do. But that's not the topic of the video. Sorry. Today we'll be talking for a short bit about where and who the hell Sauron is in these trailers and in all the stuff they've released. People jumped the gun and assumed that this was Sauron, which even some articles leapt on prematurely and announced this is Sauron when that was never confirmed. In fact, the only reason people assumed it was because of the articles written without a source. This character, played by Anson Boone, is likely an acolyte of Melkor or Sauron's. So, chances are that person right there is not Sauron. In fact, pretty much anyone other than the people who were screeching at the first trailer knows that. But if that is not Sauron, since it's the first time they were ever introduced in the trailer, then who is? Well, yeah, I can't say for certain, but there's an incredibly good chance it's Joseph Maw, an actor you might recognize from a little show called Game of Thrones. He played Ned Stark's brother, Benjen Stark, back when the Rings of Power was first announced in 2018 to 2019, and we would get little articles about leaks and castings. Joseph Maw was a curious name whenever you saw it in these articles. He's cited as playing as two characters, or a character with two names, Adar and Orin, respectively. He was also confirmed to be the villain of at least Season 1, and others were baffled as to what exactly his true role was in the continuity. And it's a strange thing because ever since the first images from Vanity Fair came out and in the trailers, people have been speculating on everyone except Joseph Maw, which I think is a huge oversight by everyone that's been following this for a while. He's the biggest named actor so far in the show, and he's been mysteriously cut from all of the promo images and trailers, which is vastly suspicious. And while the Rings of Power were trying to be subtle about him and his role, he's an actor that was in the biggest show of the 2010s, and somehow they don't show him, really, whilst simultaneously being very quiet about where Sauron is. You know, I didn't think my observations were any more, accurate or acute than anyone else's, but apparently a lot of the fandom has forgotten, so this is currently my theory on who exactly Sauron is. If Joseph Maw is mentioned, back in the early days of 2018, 2019, and, he's said to be cast as the villain, and he's this mysterious figure that isn't really talked about much, and then it becomes this big debate on who Sauron is, it kind of makes it pretty clear. However, there is, of course, the Meteor Man from the meteor that you see in the trailers, who is played by Daniel Wayman and dubbed, quote, the Stranger, which is obviously the other biggest contender for Sauron. Although I do recall an article also calling Joseph Maw, quote, a stranger a few years ago, which is pretty suspect. Okay, I just hope the Meteor Man isn't supposed to be Gandalf like some people theorize. Some small deviations from the plot are okay, but Gandalf literally should be missing for another 3,000 years. Imagine if someone put George W. Bush during the era of ancient Greece, and the showrunner thought people wouldn't notice it and it wouldn't change anything. That's that big of a change. But that's a different rant. But the point of this video is that it's important to read between the lines. If Daniel Wayman is not Sauron, but an Istari, Valar, or something else entirely, then Sauron is Joseph Maw. And there is a possibility that they both are Sauron, since Sauron, can change forms. But until that is established, I just noticed after the leaks and announcements written before the speculations of the show, exploded on the social media with Vanity Fair and, all these latest trailers. Joseph Maw was the actor that I kept my eyes on, and you should continue to keep your eyes on too. Alright everyone, I hope this was an informative video. If you plan on watching The Rings of Power, then great, and if you don't, I don't judge you. So just let you know. Thanks so much, and have a lovely day.